Everything begins in the mind. That's not just motivational fluff, that's psychological truth. You don't act until you think. Every behavior, every habit, every victory or failure you've ever experienced was first conceived in thought. Your mind, for better or worse, sets the trajectory of your life. And the tragedy is, most people never audit the thoughts that shape their reality. They just react, letting old patterns and limiting beliefs run their lives on autopilot. But here's the truth. Your external life is nothing but a mirror of your internal dialogue. If your mind is full of fear, doubt, and excuses, your actions will reflect that. But if your thoughts are shaped by clarity, intention, and vision, your life starts to bend in that direction. The battlefield is not out there, it's in here. This is why you must train your mind to see possibilities where others see problems. Rewire it, discipline it, feed it what it needs to grow, because until your mindset shifts, your results won't. The body obeys the mind, and the mind obeys what you believe is possible. If you want to change your life, you have to win the war in your head first. Everything starts there. Your mind is not fixed. It's adaptable, plastic, and it responds to effort. Just like a muscle, it strengthens through resistance. That means every time you confront fear, every time you push past the urge to quit, you are rewiring your brain to become more resilient. This isn't theory, it's neurological fact. The more you engage in disciplined thought, the more your mind becomes capable of handling stress, chaos, and adversity. People often assume mental toughness is a trait you're born with, but it's not. It's forged. It's trained through discomfort, repetition, and intentional action. And most people avoid that process. They want comfort over confrontation. But the irony is that growth only comes through controlled discomfort. You don't become mentally strong by avoiding pain. You become strong by facing it, processing it, and learning how to keep moving in spite of it. Eric Thomas calls this out. You've got to embrace the grind mentally before you ever see results physically or financially. So ask yourself, are you exercising your mind daily or just letting it coast? Because if you're not training your mind, life will. And life doesn't care whether you're ready, but your mind will be if you make it. The most powerful conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself. Every single day, a dialogue unfolds in your mind, a constant negotiation between who you are and who you could be. And here's the danger. If you're not intentional, that inner voice will default to criticism, self-doubt, and fear. It will remind you of every past failure, every insecurity, every excuse dressed up as logic. Left unchecked, your own mind becomes your greatest enemy. But you have the authority and the responsibility to rewrite that narrative. You can speak to yourself with clarity, with truth, with purpose. Not the hollow kind of positivity, but the kind rooted in reality. Yes, this is hard. Yes, I've failed before, but I'm not finished. I'm not defined by my last mistake. I get to decide what comes next. That shift in inner dialogue is where transformation begins. Eric Thomas doesn't just preach hype. He challenges you to confront the voice in your head and make it submit to your vision. Because when your internal voice changes, your external world will follow. So take ownership of your thoughts, because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. Talent may open the door, but it's your mind that decides whether you walk through it and whether you stay. People often overestimate the power of natural ability and underestimate the power of mental discipline. But in the long run, it's not the most gifted who rise. It's the ones who can endure, who can focus, who can delay gratification and keep showing up when it's no longer exciting. That's what mental strength is. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's the quiet decision to keep pushing even when nobody is watching and nothing seems to be working. And that strength doesn't come from your circumstances. It comes from your convictions. You have to believe, at a foundational level, that your purpose is bigger than your pain, and that belief has to be trained into your mind over time. Eric Thomas doesn't glorify struggle for the sake of it. He points to struggle as the place where you build the kind of mindset that outlasts talent. Because when life hits, and it will hit, it won't be your gifts that carry you through. It'll be your mind. If talent is the spark, mental toughness is the fuel, and without fuel, you go nowhere. Your mind is only as strong as what you feed it. Just like your body can't thrive on junk food, your mind can't operate at a high level if it's constantly absorbing negativity, distraction, and noise. Most people don't realize how vulnerable their mental environment is. They leave their minds open, unprotected, allowing toxic people, meaningless content, and fear-driven narratives to take root. And over time, that mental clutter becomes their operating system. You start thinking smaller, reacting emotionally, and accepting mediocrity as normal. But the mind is not neutral, it's always being shaped by something. So the real question is, what are you allowing in? Eric Thomas is clear. If your mind is your strongest weapon, you'd better guard it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. You've got to curate your inputs. Be intentional with what you read, who you listen to, what you consume. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. You cannot pursue greatness while filling your mind with garbage. That contradiction will destroy your focus. Protect your mental space with the same intensity you'd protect your dream. Because if you don't shape your mind, the world will do it for you, and it won't do it kindly. At some point, you have to stop waiting for permission and decide who you're going to be. That's one of the most overlooked truths about personal transformation. It's not something that just happens to you. It's a decision, a conscious, deliberate act of will. You don't drift into excellence, you commit to it. You declare internally and repeatedly, "This is who I am now." And then you align your behavior with that identity every single day. That's where true power begins. Not in external circumstances, but in the clarity of self-definition. The human mind is unique in its capacity to imagine a future self and then pursue it. But without that vision, without that decision, the mind becomes reactive, directionless. Eric Thomas makes this brutally clear. If you don't decide who you are, the world will decide for you, and it will always undersell you. This isn't about fantasy. It's about choosing values, disciplines, and principles you're willing to build your life around. When you decide who you want to become, every challenge becomes a test, not a threat, so don't wait to be chosen. Choose yourself because the mind, once committed, can turn a decision into a destiny.